sign off on. For two of you on the panel, the meme that the kind people of YouTube can see is Netanyahu pointing at a bomb, and I didn't. Is that a real image? Because I just typed in Israel bomb meme, and that's what.
Yeah, I think that's from a while ago. Because like he's been pushing America for this shit for God knows how long.
Yeah, and he managed it. It's based as hell.
Well, has he? Because who the hell knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on there now?
All I know is that America bombed Iran. We had that on the bingo card, and I'm very happy about that. I don't like Iran.
Yeah.
I think it's a troublemaker.
But it's, I mean, like,
so those Persians, was the Syrians, you know.
So Trump's bombing didn't actually do anything, but it was like a symbolic thing of, I think it's just like a symbolic slapping. Like, look, I'm in charge.
Was it like the bunker buster or something, or am I just really behind?
Yeah, the massive ordnance penetrators from the B-2 bombers.
Giggity.
But I don't think they worked. They don't seem to have worked. And also, Iran moved a bunch of stuff out of there before they hit. So I don't think any actual damage was done to their nuclear program. But it's sort of, I don't. But then he sort of, Trump goes on about, oh, we've got a ceasefire. And then Iran and Israel are both sort of going, we signed the ceasefire. You broke it. No, you didn't. We didn't sign it. We did. So I don't know. Both of them. Who knows? Trump should have bombed Israel as well, slapped them both down because Israel went and ramped up all its attacks, which really pissed off Trump.
Why would he bomb life's winners? Come on, think about it.
Just execute Order 66. Just carpet bomb the entire Middle East.
Yes. Like Trump seems really pissed off because
just version 2. We're starting again.
Yeah, after he sort of got this sort of like ceasefire semi sort of agreement going, then Israel ramps up its attacks because Israel's pissed off, going, "No, we want our regime change. Why aren't the neocons doing what we want?"
I can understand that. To be honest with you, they have been harassed by everyone Iran has been funding, so not
they can
irrational.
Do it themselves. They can do it themselves. Then.
Well, they've been doing it themselves for like 3 years.
No, they haven't. They haven't. They've been begging. They've been begging for the Americans to help. And
of course they have. Half the people in Europe are calling them. Half the people in Europe are calling them Nazis and aren't helping. The other half don't have an army, so aren't helping. So of course they're getting America involved. What do you mean? It feels very NPC to just say effectively, of course they want America involved. Well, yeah, the world hegemon.
But it's not in America's interest, is it?
What, to have peace in the Middle East? I think it is with their oil prices.
Well, that's what Trump's trying to do.
Yeah.
And Israel doesn't want peace. It wants its sudden wars.
Wait, Israel doesn't want peace with Iran because Iran keeps funding everyone who's been firing missiles at them for the past 3 years. What do you mean? Iran's been funding all of this.
Israel are definite enemies of us as well.
What do you mean?
Completely. You know they were giving Argentina weapons during the Falklands War.
Oh my God! Everyone gave everyone else weapons throughout the 20th century. Like irrelevant.
During the actual war, I don't think it's irrelevant.
I do not care that Israel was selling weapons to Argentina. I do not care. That is hardly like
of course
enemy.
Really? Yes, it is.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, but this is reminding me of Mauler on what's it called on what's that? What's the worst film called? Last Jedi. Where they go to the casino planet and it's like, oh, look at all these arms dealers, they're evil. It's like I don't care. I don't care that they sold them some fowls. I don't even think that wasn't it Belgium as well selling them weapons? Because I'm pretty sure they had FNFALs.
The French were selling Exocet missiles as well, and I hate the French too. The French are enemies as well.
If we're invading France as well, we'll just if the US want to do that as well.
Wait until you see that America were being shot by their own weaponry. Like it's the arms trade is one I just like. Everyone sells to everyone else. It's not like it's not a sign of an enemy. If they were directly funding the Argentine army, that would be different. But they weren't. They were providing goods for money.
This is traitorous.
This is not treachery by any stretch of the imagination. This is just how the 20th century has worked.
When we were selling weapons and giving weapons to all of Napoleon's enemies, do you think Napoleon thought, oh, just business as usual?
That's why I specifically said the 20th century, the age of neoliberalism.
Oh.
I mean, I'm actually happy with this. As long as I can blame Blair, I'm happy.
Yeah, there you go.
When America was giving weapons to the Taliban, when Afghanistan was controlled by Russia, do you think Russia was just going business as usual?
The main word in that sentence yet again, Tharium, is gave. They didn't sell them; they gave them. That is a different context, isn't it?
No, because these sales of weapons.
Sales, yes, they didn't give them. Yes, they cost money.
Like, we'll pay you later.
Yes, it cost World of Warcraft gold, from what I hear.
I mean,
anyway,
like we also gave quote unquote weapons to Ukraine that they're going to need to give us money back for.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, not us. Other people.
Yeah. Well, Russia was always calling us. What do they call us? Their historical enemies.
Yeah, they view the Anglo-Saxon as the great Satan.
Yeah, so that's why we are training up their troops.
But they're not wrong when they say that we are at war with Russia, when the Russians claim that, because we are.
Well, Kevin Baynock was fine saying that out loud, the moron. Anyway, based Bibi Armande Caesar. Yeah, he is Armande Caesar, and everyone's crying about it, and it's really funny.
We were selling weapens to the Confederacy during the American Civil War.
Yeah, and then the North won, and
yeah,
there was still largely allies.
The bad guys won. It was a shame.
Wow, amazing! And they didn't consider us enemies, the North. Wow, nuts.
Well, they did actually.
Crazy.
They did actually.
No, they didn't. We stopped buying Southern American cotton because a lot of Britain was on the side of the North. So it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think we actually wanted the South to win. That would have been a lot better geopolitically.
We literally went through all this on the stream with Jack. We basically didn't care because we were too worried about Russia and Germany. So yeah, we didn't really care.
Yeah, but but like overall, I mean, the South obviously should have won.
I don't think we cared. I just don't think we cared.
It would have been better.
It probably would have been better for us because it would have.
I'm not saying it was the number one concern, but it would have been better.
It probably would have been better for those who didn't see them necessarily as an ally, I suppose. Yeah, but from what I understand, that wasn't a common thought process throughout Britain. It seems like Enoch Powell's like the only person who doesn't consider America a friend in the 20th century. It's quite funny.
They haven't been. They've never been a friend.
Well, I mean, they've been our liege lord, and from that they are an ally.
That's not how it works.
What do you mean that's not how it works? Of course it is.
Being a vassal doesn't mean you're an ally.
Of course, I've played enough CK2 to know that I can call on my vassals to help me out in the war.
They're bitches. They are your bitches, not your allies.
What's the difference?
How loyal are they once your army diminishes?
No husband has ever considered his wife an ally. Anyway, was there any other international news? Because I cannot remember. We've had 3 weeks, by the way, so there should be a lot.
They had the immigrant riots in America as well.
Oh yeah, is that still going on? I'm not even sure because obviously this Iran thing happened.
I don't know. I haven't been following it. Then they sort of moved into the No Kings general anti-Trump sort of protest.
Oh yeah, there was the huge parade. I
didn't
actually see most of it.
Oh, the military one.
Yeah, the military parade. I didn't. Actually see
that sucked. Really sloppy. Like, come on, America, you can do better. Because they're just like they just look really sloppy. All their troops just sort of wandering around. It was terrible. They should have come to us for some pointers.
I am happy to say that I do not follow American slop enough to know what you're even talking about, so I'm quite happy with that.
Trump had a big military parade.
Oh yeah, it sucked. Yeah.
You remember the No Kings thing?
Vaguely.
It was basically the thing around. Yeah, it was that.
Yeah.
Response.
Yeah, Trump does a military parade, like all of Europe does, and they're going, "Oh my god, this is what fascists do."
Yeah.
But
I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. Technically true, but so does everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the clip of the Ghanaian military parade. Have you seen that? Where they've got these plastic Iron Man suits.
Oh, the sort of makeshift mech suits.
I can't say I've seen that.
It's the Ghanaian military, and they've got these guys walking in. It's like plastic, and they've got some pipes glued onto them. One of them, the pipe has fallen off, and it's like just flopping around. And they're sort of pretending like these are Iron Man suits for their soldiers.
So good.
Like they're like mech suits. It's like, this is so sad.
You love to see it. Well, I mean, it's better than any of our parades, I guess. Maybe. Well, no, actually, we have Trooping of the Colour. Actually, Trooping of the Colour was really good. What am I talking about? Yeah, no.
Our military
parades. At least we still have discipline.
Our military parades are the best.
That is true.
No one has the drip.
Like, I'm thinking of even stuff like the Red Arrow stuff.
Yeah,
it's
best.
Yeah, best even to this day, despite all of the alterations to the RAF, our Red Arrow parades are still phenomenal.
They're trying to stop them because of net zero, which is just such a 21st century way to end it all. Anyway, we are here to talk about the news in Britain, so we're going to. Cost of damage by Palestine action could hit £55 million, which is pretty nuts. Obviously, as well, it was the whole plane thing.
Those engines are not easily replaced. You've basically got to put in an order for them ahead of time.
Oh yeah,
and then they're made to order, all very expensive. And if you stick the paint in it, it just completely messes up all the compression and stuff.
Well, it's quite. I don't. It's not really funny, but it's crazy how the Palestine action was saying, why are you getting mad over just some paint? They didn't just paint them. They also crowbarred them open.
Yeah, they bashed them. But even just the paint, though, it has.
Oh yeah, that can damage it. Yeah.
No, it's destroyed it. If you spray paint in it, you can't fix that.
Yeah.
That engine's gone.
Yeah, so that's probably it's probably a Rolls-Royce engine that's millions of pounds per engine. The attacks have cost the defence industry at least $30 million, according to evidence submitted to the government by several firms that have been affiliated. But it also fears that one engine of the plane attacked in Brize Norton is damaged beyond repair and could cost £25 million to replace. Because Palestine action had been going on for about 3 years. I went on their website the other day for a video, and they had entire stories about how they've just closed down Israeli factories. Or Israeli company factories in Britain.
Reminded me.
Yeah.
The other thing that happened, the Gaza march to Gaza through Egypt by the leftists. Did you see that?
Oh God, yeah.
I did not see that. What was that?
Some idiot leftist went to Egypt and got bullied by native Egyptians.
It was a few of them. Yeah, a few of them. These leftists wanted to just do a march to Gaza through Egypt. And of course, Egypt keep a very strict border with Gaza because they don't want those fuckers in their country. And then these leftists start going, because these leftists basically just start getting whipped and beaten by the Egyptian security forces because they're like, no, you're not going through. And then eventually deported. And there's clips of these leftists crying, going, "Don't you care about your fellow Muslims?
Oh
Why
no,
don't you care?"
I was literally talking about this to someone earlier today.
Why are these
humanity?
Why are these noble Egyptians whipping me in the street for trying to be on their side? It's like, oh no, they hate Palestine too. It's not exactly solidarity between the Arabs like you might think. But as I was saying, with Palestine action, they've been going on for 3 years. They've broken into production facilities that make drones, arms, things like that. Take sledgehammers to workers there as well. Like, they've threatened people who actually work there. Kind of nuts, but as usual, the judiciary are all basically on side saying, yeah, this is fine, it's stopping war crimes. Then they do something that is just ridiculous like this, and all of a sudden you get the hammer down on them, they're prescribed. And you had a big... the next article?
I'm so confused. They're like, how could this happen? How could this...
And basically now the police have...
What happened?
Yeah, police now have carte blanche to effectively just arrest anyone who's on the street openly for Palestine action, and it made a bit of a kerfuffle today. Which is totally fine, because you cannot damage British military equipment, assets, or, well, weaponry, aircraft, what have you. Obviously you should not be able to do that.
The fact that they also were able to do this was a serious failure on behalf of Bryce Norton.
I mean,
security there.
Nobody's shocked.
Because it was some woman from HR who was put in charge of security there, and she couldn't manage it, and didn't bother escalating the issues or whatever. That no, we can't actually patrol this border.
I did see on Twitter that someone went on Google Maps and was like, "Oh, here's like a public road that's just outside the base, and the fence is just a few pallets."
Okay. There were clear security issues, and the woman in charge just didn't bother doing anything about it. It was pathetic.
Classic.
Absolute failure again.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's total hyperbole. It wasn't some HR woman. Not actually that hyperbolic. One of her
main... No, she was.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Well, she didn't just do HR, but it was one of her main one of the main things on the CV.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not great, especially if you're in charge of a base and you end up costing £30 million in one fell swoop because you couldn't stop two weirdos on e-scooters.
Whereas a couple of 5.56 bullets, very cheap indeed.
Well, it's quite funny. I saw Americans on Twitter saying, "How come they weren't shot on sight?" And it's like, because the guards would probably go to jail.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wish I could tell you, my dude. Yeah.
I mean, as much as I wish they did. Even American bases don't just automatically shoot on sight.
I think they would if they were heading toward an aircraft and started damaging them. To be honest,
once they start actually hitting, then yeah. Once they start doing the damage, probably.
I'm not.
Until then,
I think way before that. I think if they saw two people beelining,
as soon as the fences jumped, open fire. That's my position.
I mean,
especially they're on e-scooters. They're up to no good.
That's what I mean. You're on e-scooters. You're heading straight towards two. You're clearly heading towards two planes on the runway, or a plane. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. And then they stop at it. You should be shooting them when they're on the runway on e-scooters, going flat out. Obviously,
these aren't overexcited plane spotters.
Yeah. Anyway, So on the streets of London.
But
few arrests.
There just wasn't
socialist yet again.
It's been so cringe.
They probably have climate protesters there as well. Another thing I want to say as well, we go on about immigration all the time. Okay, there's a few... Actually, no, they're journalists, so they're not even part of the protest. A lot of... It's a lot of white faces. Well, it was the first shot anyway, this is a bit more diverse. As I keep saying, our big issue, immigrants are a second-order issue. It's literally just left-wing politics in general that all needs to die.
What is it that...
socialist worker banner. Go on.
I was just going to say, what is it that Asmund says? There are two kinds of people in the world that basically ruin it for the rest of us, and it's effectively just like Karens, and I can't remember exactly what the other one was, but it's essentially this crowd of people. Yeah, this crowd of people sort of is the amalgamation of all of the things that basically just.
I'm defending Karens. I'm defending Karens. Karens are just for law and order. I'm fine with Karens. They are mostly for law and order. Sometimes they go nuts, so do cops. Doesn't matter. Karens just have standards. I'm a Chad Karen defender.
I'm deporting these people too.
No, you're not. You're not. You are not. You are not
I will.
deport. No.
You make me Emperor of Britain for a day.
I make you
These
Emperor
people are
of
all
Britain.
gone.
I make you Emperor of Britain for a day. Everyone wants you assassinated. Like, it's just not happening.
It's a price I'm willing to pay.
Yeah, but then you get nothing done.
No, I wouldn't. A day, all these people would be gone. They'd love me.
Again, as I always say, what are you gonna do about the Civil War? Anyway, so yeah, Yvette Cooper, after the RAF attack, prescribed it. They still went out anyway, and there's a few people being arrested. That guy's being manhandled by two of them. Good, boys in blue. I'm finally on side. Come on, Times. Yes, the Times is for law and order.
If I had to be a French person, I'd love to be one of their riot police because they just go to town on these people.
They're just allowed to break arms.
The stuff they do to this lot. Oh, it's so much fun.
But yeah, oh yeah, and Iran could be funding Palestine action. Yet another reason America was based on Red Pill to bomb them, take out their internet. I did see the story of like 5 major Scottish independence accounts just stopped working after Iran got bombed, which is funny. I do love how every time, years it was like, oh, Russia's, that they're causing Brexit, they're trying to throw spanners in the works, what have you. Yeah. Every time it turns out, oh, actually they're more interested in leftism because you are ruining the country. Like, what a shock. just nuts.
I remember, because it all really started with the American 2016 election.
Yeah.
And I do remember, like, some of like the early looking into that was like, oh no, they were actually because it was like Facebook ads, which affected nobody, but they were actually taking out both like left wing and right wing ads for that.
Yeah, yeah, they were just throwing spanners in the works. That's all they try and do. But obviously nobody believes that the left wing, especially now Labour's in charge in the UK, nobody believes that Labour or the left wing actually have the interests of Britain at heart. Obviously.
Well, there's still about, they're still about like 22% of absolute wackos. Of course they hate Britain.
Like, Labour are about 20% in the polls, but I don't think that's hard leftists. I think actually most of them are basically.
These will be like the foreigners, who hate us. Yeah,
some of them will be foreigners, definitely, but no, I think most of them will be public sector workers who are basically only voting Labour to keep getting ridiculous pay rises. That's probably their core support, actually, is public sector workers. Basically, all of whom I know effectively for reform social policy, which is deport illegals and criminals, death penalty, etc. So, well, that's not reform position. That's some of the MPs, but still, you get the point. The kind of the hang the nonces from the NHS type people who actually do work for the NHS. That's your average Labour voter, an NHS worker. Grooming inquiry to oversee local investigations to avoid delays. Yes, they finally did a national grooming inquiry, and the details were effectively, we're not looking into Whitehall or police chiefs or Westminster or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's basically just a better coordinated local inquiry, which I suppose is better than nothing.
I was going to say, why are they so adamant about not doing like a full inquiry?
because
people like Starmer will probably end up in jail. Because most of them are probably involved.
Again, but I repeat.
What?
Well, no, I'm just saying, threaten me with a good time, but,
Well, it's just basic self-interest, I suppose. Baroness Casey, who led a review into the issue, is keen to avoid a prolonged inquiry amid concerns that it could go on for years and fail to provide justice and answers for victims. We have had inquiries before, and that is generally what's happened. She has instead advised the government to take a targeted approach with a new time-limited independent commission expected to oversee local inquiries. It will have the ability to compel people to give evidence. Good. Casey told ministers that the Commission should review cases of failure or obstruction by statutory services to identify localities where local investigations should be instigated. Starmer repeatedly resisted calls for a national inquiry at one point, claiming that those that were calling for it were jumping on the far-right bandwagon. I do enjoy how his cope for that was, I was just talking about some politicians, not people. However, at the weekend, he said he had changed his mind after reading Casey's national audit into the grooming gangs, which will be published on Monday, which is always so funny to read, because I went through through it for a video. It's not really got anything new. We know everything in it. It's just an official person has said, yes, it was a lot of Pakistanis doing it. I think like second was Yemi, people from Yemen.
It's all Muslims, yeah. That's the other thing that came through, because they have been trying to say some.
Yeah.
It's just that Pakistanis. No, actually, it's all of them.
Well, it's not. Okay, it's not. It's not accurate.
Yeah, it's a Muslim-wide thing. It is an Islam-wide thing.
It's not Islam-wide.
It
It's specifically Afghanistan, Kurds, Yemen.
Yeah,
it's basically every country that's not Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar.
Yeah, it's all the people. It's all the people. It's all the people who hate us. It's not just Pakistanis. You can't just say, "Oh, it's just the Pakistanis."
I'm not saying it's just the Pakistani. It's incorrect
but
that's
what. Yeah, I know, but that's what some people had sort of moved. Well, it's just the Pakistanis sort of. Some people trying to mitigate it.
Yes, but it is also wrong.
It's wider than that.
It's also wrong to say it's Islam wide. It's still not that wide.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
They all know.
What do you mean they all know? I don't.
They all knew this was going on. That was the other thing about this report.
Yes.
It's not gangs, like saying it's gangs. No, it's families. The families all know. They all in on it.
It didn't actually go into much detail on the women that get involved, but it did mention that there were quite a few.
But
the funny thing is, as well, is that it's
much
actually
get involved, but the women do know.
The women that get.
I don't know.
Interestingly, the women that get involved usually are white. That's the other thing I noticed. It's sometimes
often it can be like they were themselves groomed when they were younger, and they sort of they just sort of move into this like just very broken women, unfortunately.
Well, that's the case for some of it, from what I remember of reading it. Well, basically, some of it was. Some of it, she basically tries to avoid. Says if they're under 15, it can't just be an excuse of they're in love. But some of these women were like in their 20s, and it's like those ones don't have an excuse because they weren't actually groomed at 15 necessarily. I don't think it's that many, mind, but the women makeup of the grooming gangs was more interesting, I'd say, and much less uniform than the male side, which was pretty much overwhelmingly Pakistani, but did involve others, of course, as we say. So Reeves, the Chancellor, declined to apologise to those who were rebuked by Starmer for demanding a national inquiry. She said the victims rather than the people's hurt feelings were what mattered. It's not. Again, though, I don't know why. I think she should have said rather than covering it up, because her what's it called? Her inquiry did mention cover up and denial. Which I think has to be. You got to be more serious about why he wasn't doing this. But I suppose you can't really accuse the Prime Minister of trying to help cover it up, because nobody would take you seriously after that. Nobody. Well, we would obviously, but people who matter.
Because he was clearly.
Well, I mean, I would rather avoid the defamation lawsuits.
I mean,
that could come along with that. But
he was head of the Crown Prosecution Service.
He was head of the CPS.
While these cases were being brought and ignored.
Well, did it make it that far up to him? Who knows? I can't say for certain. I don't want to go to court. The government has already announced plans for 5 government-backed inquiries, including one in Oldham and 4 other areas that have not been named. However, concerns were raised that the investigations could be hampered without statutory powers, and some local authorities have also rejected calls for an investigation. Those are the ones that need the most investigating. 800 grooming gang cases have already been identified by the police after I asked them to look again, which case had closed too early. 800 were closed too early. nuts.
I mean, we know like the stuff that has gun to core and stuff. It's a tiny minority of all the actual guilty people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, I mean, that's the case with every crime basically, but it's always worth remembering.
Nazir Afzal, the former chief crown prosecutor who brought a series of grooming gang cases, said the inquiry would only succeed if it were given data about perpetrators, victims, and other elements of the crime. He's previously raised concerns that local authorities, police, and courts were all using different definitions of grooming, meaning that it was impossible to properly understand and tackle the extent of the crime. That's also true. Samantha Walker Roberts, a victim of the grooming gang in Oldham, told Times Radio that the Prime Minister had backed into a corner and didn't have survivors' best interests at heart. Well, yes, we know that. I just think it's going to be one of those inquiries that goes on for a while. It gets a few more people. I don't think you're going to get, assuming all 800 assuming all 800 are real. Like, I don't even think 200 of them are even gonna.
They're gonna try and cover it up again, like Priti Patel did and stuff.
Priti Patel was so useless.
Yeah, they're gonna do the same. They're gonna try and cover it up again.
That's the thing. I can't tell if I should be saying Tories are involved in it or Tories are just that incompetent, because it could realistically be either.
Tories, well, most of that lot are globalist shitlibs as well, so they're committed to the project. Whereas I think Labour are more the ones directly involved. That's my guess.
Well, yeah,
just going on gut feeling about it.
No, I do not want to be taken to court. I was going to say, because I was thinking it didn't really happen in Labour councils, and I was like, oh wait, Oxford had one. Just checked Oxford. That's been either Labour or no control since 1980. So, like, even the ones I thought were, we're Tory aren't. So, clear, as you say, globalists who wanted the multiculturalism to work. I'll cover this up. Yeah,
don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat. That's going to suck. So, yeah.
For the sake of diversity.
That's much closer to the Tom Holland. Oh, it was a noble goal. Which was just such I kind of can't believe he's not deleted that. But madman.
I mean, I can, but
well, Tom Holland's not. He's not mental on other subjects, so I don't know why he's mental on that one. Anyway, Keir Starmer pledges to spend 5% of GDP per year, not per year, just 5% of GDP on defence by 2035. The PM announced that the 40 billion boost to the military budget will not reveal how it will be funded until after next election. Great.
Piss off. Oh wait, no, I thought you said how it's going to be spent. Never mind.
Well, same thing. But yeah, how will it be funded until after the next election? Okay. The thing is, I'm not being funny, but 30 billion of the Chagos Island stuff, that's defence. What was it? Yeah. What was the other one we saw? It was. I
think there's broadband.
Rural broadband was another one, because obviously military bases are in rural areas usually. I think that's the reasoning.
I mean, I like rural broadband, but I wouldn't call it defence spending.
Yeah, it's just, but that's how it's. I mean, even on I was listening to GB News before, to Farage's show, and he had some ex-Labour MP or Labour advisor on, I can't remember which, but she did this whole defence of Palestine and what have you, like Israel bad, and then instantly, trying to defend Starmer as well, because how's he supposed to stop all this? Instantly get to this, and even she was like, yeah, this is obviously just going to be moving around funding we already have. PIP payments might go into defence. Oh, why is that? Because a lot of them work for military contractors. Right.
I'm pretty sure pensions are counted, military pensions are counted.
Yeah, they're counted.
Which is, I mean, that's at least a little bit more justified. I wouldn't count it.
The thing is, I'd be fine, because they're supposed to get into two parts. 3.5 toward defence capabilities, and the other 1.5 goes to resilience and security. Like, forget that. I'm fine with 3.5%, even 3% on direct defence capabilities. If you then have another 1 or 1.5% that includes the pensions and includes the admin work that goes into making the army run, fine. I'd be happy with that, but just this is all going to be defense capabilities. Well, internet, you need to talk to your drones through IP addresses and whatever. It's like great. Thanks, Starmer. Still, it's bumped up to 5%. And does it say in this that does it say home home territory? No, it's not in this article, but you know how they keep saying we've got to prepare for war. There was a quote where Starmer
there's going to be a
said
war
it's
on
going
the
to be
homeland,
on home turf. It's like, who's coming to invade us? What have you done?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're saying it's for foreign adversaries. I don't think it is. I think this is them preparing for more civil sort of war.
I don't think they'd be that stupid.
No, yeah, but they're not stupid enough to actually think Russia's going to invade. Nobody knows. They know that's not going to happen.
I think they are.
No. They know. They know that's not actually going to happen. They say it like to push it, but they know Russia's not invading.
I think I think they genuinely could think that's a possibility. Kemi the idiot said we're in a proxy war.
Yeah, we're in a proxy war, but that's very different from Russia's about to launch landing crafts.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to say that. If you say that, you end up inviting the justification to invaders.
Yeah, you give a cast spell.
I don't think they'd have the hubris to do it. Also, as you keep going on about, and it's true to be fair, most of the people joining the army will probably join the side of the
yeah, exactly. They're that
the
stupid,
natives anyway.
But they are stupid enough to think that they can control it. But yeah, I like. It's like I was saying with the race riots we're having, and there were people calling for the military to be involved, for Starmer to use the military, and like I was saying, are you sure you can trust all these boot kicking northern lads to door kicking northern lads to be on your side in this, Starmer? Really?
Well, his father worked in a tool factory, don't you know?
Yeah.
So he's
But I mean, the
class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who can speak to the working class other than Starmer?
What's his name? Tom, the Bosch guy.
Tugendhat.
No, the Bosch guy. Tom.
Oh, Tom Skinner.
I can't remember that's it. He was see, he was talking about tool theft. That's the thing he's going on about at the moment. I wish someone would steal Starmer.
So Wedge treating NHS can't afford assisted dying and MPs got it wrong. Amazing.
I mean, it's bad when it's like I'm sorry, but like the Nazis managed to do mass graves apparently on a better budget than our NHS can do it. Like, what is wrong?
It's just like Noble. He's trying to stop.
Not saying that I want mass graves.
He's trying to stop assisted.
You know what I mean?
He's trying to stop assisted dying. Thanks, but come on. Even I know that that's just nonsense.
Yeah,
like, obviously, killing people is cheaper. Come
on. Yeah.
I mean,
I hate to say it, but like,
if it comes to it, the NHS will just get the pillow and smother you. So I don't think so.
I'm happy to help the NHS with assisted dying of itself. That would be good. In a statement issued to his constituent, go on.
Also, is this just? I guess we end it. Is this just his complaint though, that they can't afford it?
Well, well, my God, like they're going on about the economic argument for it. I'd rather, I'm fine with him if he's trying to stop it by any means. In a statement issued to his constituents on Facebook after his historic Commons vote on Friday, Streeting said, "Setting up this service will take time and money, and it's in short supply. The process could divert resources from NHS and other public services," he wrote. "Politics is about prioritising, and it's a daily series of choices and trade-offs. I fear we've made the wrong one. Under the terms of the bill, the NHS will be expected to carry out assisted dying procedures. Analysis shows that each death will cost the taxpayer about £15,000. How is it £15,000?
Actually, in a strange way, it does actually kind of make sense because you've got someone who needs to administer it, which is probably going to be a contractor, so he's going to be costing by the hour, and then you've got like drug costs over the top of it or whatever method that they're using to execute. Euthanize the person.
I don't think those drugs are too expensive though. They've been around a long time.
well, like, well, no, because they because this is public sector, so they're not going to be using the most like cost-effective stuff. They will,
Yeah.
you know,
Also, I don't think it's contractors doing this. I think it's just doctors. I mean,
well, no,
Yeah, I
most
think so too.
most or nearly all specialist doctors are usually contractors, or at least
Mm,
from
yeah.
what I understand.
oh, no
Stuff
wonder
like
it.
cardiologists or like radiologists, a lot of them work on contract.
No wonder
Uh,
it's just a
Is it?
non-stop.
They should just hire
oh, they're
Rupert Lowe's
usually.
groundskeeper.
Oh, sorry.
They should just hire Rupert Lowe's groundskeeper with his shotgun.
Gamekeeper.
Uh,
I mean, I'd happily shoot all Cromwells. I suppose I'm on board with that. Streeting voted for a change in law in 2015, later deciding against it because of the concerns about the state of palliative care in the UK. He is the first cabinet minister to publicly raise his concerns about the Labour MP Kim Leadbeater's bill since it narrowly passed its third reading last week with a majority of 23.
to be fair, the more I think about it, someone euthanizing is probably going to be some poor nurse intern that's going to be lumped with most of the stuff.
You say a poor nurse intern, but you know they've got Lucy Letby's about, so there's probably someone who'd be happy to do it.
Oh, someone
Did
that
you
would be
see,
happy with it, yeah.
did you see her thing in The Guardian going, "One day we will have kind and compassionate death for all"? That was the headline.
And
weird.
It's
someone
like,
tries to.
we will kill all of you. Don't worry.
It's like
All of you
everyone
will
will
be
die.
killed.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Cut all
honestly,
homelessness
I'm
in
just.
half. Yeah.
And you
Cut all
just know that the
homelessness.
second you say, "Okay, fine, you first," that they'll start crying to whatever, like, you know, the fucking police or whatever. Oh, sorry, I just realized this is the wrong stream. Sorry, they'll start crying to the police or whatever about, oh, this person threatened me.
But,
Just like,
I mean, I don't. To be honest, as well, I don't know why I'm complaining. Like, you know, it should be there should be no money going. I shouldn't even know how much it costs to kill someone with the NHS, let alone complaining that it's that much. But to be fair, no way it's 15,000. I just don't believe it.
Oh, it is the NHS though. Yeah,
Yeah.
it probably is.
Yeah.
How can we
Look-
how can we overpay to kill someone?
what was it like that was it that £5 million, or was that a day, a week, or whatever? It's got to go somewhere. The money's not
you
going to
could
spend
maybe
itself.
you could maybe say it was all like the safety checks and all this sort of stuff going into it.
Oh yeah, all the
But that's
bureaucracy. Yep.
but that's not happening. And that's sort of like one of the things people have been complaining about. Some of these MPs against it, going, there are no safety checks. There's nothing of that in this.
You can just kill people. It's weird.
It's just like, look, we need them dead, and we need, like, you know, and we need to have was it legal liability waived? Like, how can we do this as quickly and effectively as possible?
A while ago, quite a while ago, I was remembering thinking, because the complaints from the people against this has always been, we, like the disabled people, we will just be encouraged to kill ourselves. And
It's
I was
true,
thinking
yeah.
that would never happen. Come on, that's being a bit silly. And then Canada happened, and
I was going to
realized,
say Canada, yeah.
oh, I was so wrong about that.
Did you hear about, like, literally, was it one of the women in one of the ads was actually pressured into it? She didn't actually want to die, but she was in one of the ads, and they ran the ad anyway.
Jeez.
I'm not
I mean, obviously, double check
shocked.
my story, but I do remember quite vividly.
And there's a bunch of just minor things. Like someone wants one of them was somebody wanted a ramp for their wheelchair, just like, so that costs nothing, and they'll go, have you thought about killing yourself instead? That's all
Yes, it was
awful.
the
Like,
stair lift. I remember that
I think
one, the
this
stair
I think this
lift.
person just wanted a ramp. One of them.
It was
I think they
basically
were
one of those automated stair lifts, I think. And she was like
It-
was it like an ex-athlete or something?
Yeah, it was probably both. Both
Yeah.
of these stories happen. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway.
Have you considered MAID?
Anyway, council tax bill set to rise in South to fund the North. Yay. Angela Rayner is to announce plans for a radical overhaul of the tax to stop residents in poor areas unfairly being asked to pay more for worse services. I'm not being funny, but that is not what happens. I've been to the South. It's like stepping into cyberpunk down there. Angela Rayner.
Yeah, that is an idea some people have. Like the South is all just like really nice. No.
It was in the 90s or in the early 2000s. I lived in the South.
Yeah, I mean, we've got there are nice parts, but we've also got plenty of rough parts.
Well,
Mm,
Angela Rayner,
yeah.
yeah, but those rough parts are still usually like Zone 1 in London. Angela Rayner, Deputy Prime Minister, will set out plans for a progressive redistribution of local authority funding designed to ensure more Whitehall money goes to areas with the highest needs. She's expected to announce.
I hate that word redistribution so much.
It does have like a somewhat Pavlovian response for me as well. Just instant, just I yeah, can't deal with it at the moment. I just get like some sort of tick when I hear it.
She is expected to announce the move as a significant Labour reform designed to ensure that the residents in poor areas are not paying over the odds in council tax, but receiving shoddy services in return. However, council chiefs warn that the plans will be deeply divisive as many wealthier areas in London and the home counties lose out. Yeah. About half of council income comes from the central government, and Rayner will announce plans for a new formula for allocating the money based on local needs, including population, poverty, and age. This will lead to more cash going to deprived areas after her department said that the link between funding and local needs has broken down, and that reform, small r, will enable local authorities who have had to scale back services the most to catch up. So it's not so much. So yeah, bills are set to rise as a result of the fact that central government money is more going to go towards, well, Northern Scottish and I guess Welsh
I posted
councils.
a video of the YouTuber Turd Town. He sort of just goes around the country, and I wish he did more positive stuff, but he says it doesn't get any views, unfortunately. But anyway, he's from the southwest, like Cornwall, Devon area, and yeah, he did a video going about how totally fucked they are because they're getting nothing. Like there's talk about all this stuff for the north, but they're in dire straits there too, and they've just been completely forgotten about.
I think that the irony when it comes to like Cornwall is that it's sort of still it's like Oxford, right? You sort of it's still sort of associated with like wealth and whatever.
Yeah.
And especially with the house prices.
Nice
So they're
holiday
still very
homes,
high.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And so because of that, when I think of Cornwall, I think Willicombe, like holiday stuff. But you don't think about the more deprived areas, like you say. It's a tough one.
Yeah, like my nearest town in Kent wasn't a nice place. So yeah, it's just this is just clueless thinking. It's just vindictive nastiness.
I mean,
well, it's sort of tactical. They're trying to find. They're basically
I'm
trying to
gonna be
find
funny,
sort of cheap wins.
I mean, I get the logic from Labour's perspective. It's not like this is illogical, but as you say, it won't work. Half the reason that a lot of towns are deprived and all that is because, well, the people keep expecting handouts like this, effectively. For doing nothing is the main point there.
Yeah.
Reeves considers non-dom tax changes to halt exodus because we got a lot of non-doms leaving.
Can't imagine why.
The Chancellor is weighing up reversing her decision to charge inheritance tax on global assets of non-domiciles UK residents whose permanent home is abroad. The new rules are due to take effect in April, but there are concerns that it will lead to wealthy people leaving the UK for regimes with lower tax. I mean, that's already been happening.
Yeah, I mean, it is more than just this. Than this change. Yeah, it's all of their tax crap that is causing people to leave.
It's this plus the other tax. I mean, the non-dom status has been completely bastardized.
But it's affecting actual residents, not these non-dom like people as well. Like one of my cousins, he's obviously not a non-dom, but they're planning on moving to Jersey because of just all the tax crap.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Don't blame them.
The thing with the non-doms though is that I think they pay their average income tax payments are something stupid like 81 times that of the median earner.
Wouldn't be surprised.
They pay an absolute shed load in taxes that they do actually have to pay, like VAT, capital gains, and all that. they would pay a ridiculous amount in, and this is why it's a bit of a disaster. But it is very funny reading this while at the same time, obviously, for 2 days straight, they've had a go at reform for trying to revert the rules effectively. But that's for the next article.
Have they didn't they go back on the private school VAT as well or something a while ago?
No, the private.
They wanted, they. No, it did backfire, but they didn't actually reverse it.
I should have got the articles for it. Like 3 private schools closed down in a week at the start of May because obviously April finishes and then they just don't have money anymore because of the tax.
I think some sort of people within Labour have admitted, oh yeah, this didn't really work though, haven't they? At least that.
Probably. If they have, I don't remember who did, and I don't really care because they all need to go. But I don't know if there's been any. I don't remember anyone saying that the VAT was a mistake. I've not seen I don't remember any Labour MP.
No. Yeah.
I don't.
I'm just
thinking. One that made me laugh actually. In your last video, the guy who was the Labour NPC, who, like, the one that was just like, oh yeah, Starmer's doing such a great job, and I was just like, you are literally the only person I've ever heard ever say that. I was actually kind of a little bit baffled.
That was the Vox Pop, wasn't it? Oh, is Starmer good for young people? Yeah, definitely, he's great.
He just starts just quoting the back of the brochure,
and then he's asked for specifics, and he doesn't give any.
There's this wild 20% of the electorate who just somehow think, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, there's some NPCs, as I say, I think most of them are just made up of public sector workers. The guy could have been a public sector worker. He looks like he could have been. So, he could have been like part of the NHS or something. I don't know.
Did your video include that fat old female boomer who said, "Oh, I just hope AI kills everyone"?
I don't know. You'll have to watch it.
Oh, yeah,
yes, it did.
I mean, sorry. You need to find out.
That was wild. It's like, yeah, I had things really easy. I guess
everyone else
people, I just hope they die now. I guess that's the best thing for them. Just die. I had it really great.
It's so funny because she says that and then she starts talking about she's worried about her grandkids' future.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you want them to die? What do you mean?
Yeah. We need to do an edit of what was it, The Last Jedi or whatever, when it's just like, they die now? Yes, they die now.
They die now.
So grim. But it does show you there's this idea of people that, in fact, actually it sort of shows you the problem with leftists and the problem with sort of collectivist ideology, where there's a difference between people and persons, where it's like humanity needs to die, but my grandkids need to have a nice, long and abundant life.
Yeah.
Because it's the difference between the individual person and humanity, TM.
Anyway, I just want to quickly go through some of these figures. So, in its place, the Treasury introduced a much less generous resident-based system. This was going to be done by the Tories, by the way. You can't just blame Labour for this. This was a Tory. This was a uniparty.
I can.
This was a uniparty
Sorry,
thing.
Carry on.
Well, you know the reason that Tories decided to change the non-dom status that's been in place for 200 years? Do you know why they wanted to change it? No. I mean,
Rishi Sunak's wife.
Rishi Sunak's wife was taking the mickey out of it because obviously your husband being the Prime Minister means that your permanent residence is probably in the UK. So obviously everyone said, oh, this loophole, get rid of the loophole. So they got rid of it as a knee-jerk reaction. And now, just listen to these stats. So there is no definitive figure on how many non-doms have left, but a recent survey by Oxford Economics found that 60% of tax advisors expected that more than 40% of their non-dom clients to leave within 2 years of the policy change. Another thing I go through in my video today is the OBR is just total nonsense. That Dan Needle guy, who by the way is on the Labour National Candidacy Committee or something like that. He's high up in Labour and advised them on tax anyway, so we're in his perfect tax regime. Not perfect, he complains about it all the time.
Leaving?
Well, this is the thing. He tried to claim that reform will have to find effectively 34 billion out of nowhere, which is ridiculous. Nobody was saying that this non-dom change would bring in £40 billion. Just obvious total crap that he was using bad OBR numbers for, and the OBR say it's bad, by the way. But while I'm on this train, I found a much more recent research into the non-dom effects, and effectively, if 25% of non-doms leave, that means that it's broken even. You get no more money. If it goes below that, I think if 40% leave, which it looks like that's what recent research is saying, they were looking at 1.7 billion cost a year. So they changed the tax status to bring in money, and once again, Laffer curve, they've screwed it up. And so in fact,
something Laffer curve doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to it, like Reform want to do, reverting it will make the Treasury money, assuming obviously 40% actually leave. It's so bad.
Sorry, Tharium, go for it.
Is there a single body that actually makes accurate economic predictions?
Not in the government.
I don't think there are.
Not a public body. JP Morgan's is very good. Goldman Sachs is very good.
Sainsbury's, unironically.
Sainsbury's. Do you
Supermarkets.
not remember this all kept happening over COVID, and the inquiry, because it's taken forever, isn't pointing this out. But do you not remember? Like, we kept getting these COVID models from the government, and they were all total nonsense. And then JP Morgan's had come out with one that's dead accurate, and it's like, this is why we don't need to lock down again. Government lockdown again anyway, and it turned out to be pointless. Yeah. So no, there isn't.
Literally, unironically, I trust supermarkets more than our our government figures.
But this is another thing. When Labour announced the plan, the OBR estimated that between 12 and 25% would go. I assume that's over 5 years. It's not even been a year, by the way. 10% have gone. So it's looking to be the higher end of that. A growing list of high-profile business people, wealthy individuals and investors have left. Bloomberg reported that billionaire French heiress Anne Beaufort, the German investor Max Gottschalk, and the Magna Capital chief executive Alexander Ginsberg, the JC Flowers co-presenter Tim Hanford, and the boxing promoter Eddie Hearn were among figures to relocate in recent months. These aren't like those non-European names that everyone seemed to be worried about when it came to immigrants.
It's awfully foreign to me.
I didn't say foreign, I said non-European.
It's all the same to me.
Yeah, right.
There's England and then India.
I mean, they're obviously all gonna be foreign, Tharium. They're non-doms. Anyway,
but it is. I just recognise England and India. That's it.
Anyway, Nigel Farage dismisses criticism of Reform's Robin Hood policy. So this is exactly what I was saying before. He dismissed claims that the non-dom policy would cost $34 billion. As I went through, it comes from the OBR, and the literal paragraph before the table where it has these figures says highly uncertain figures, highly unsubstantiated, basically because it's impossible to predict behaviour of people. Literally has those. Not like, I paraphrased it, but literally has those words. Yet it's being thrown about by the whole media as this can't work. I'm not being funny, but do either of you remember when the non-dom status was being revoked? Do either of you remember hearing this will make like £40 billion a year? Or, sorry, this is over 5 years. Anywhere close to, how much would this be? $7 billion a year?
I don't recall.
That's because it didn't happen, because nobody claimed that, because it's obvious crap. So yeah, sorry, I spent 3 hours on the video today, so I'm very annoyed that I have to go through this again. But let's just quickly go through the policy.
Yeah, Tharium, can't believe you. No,
So Farage insisted that tens of thousands of people will come to the UK as a result of the policy, which would allow non-doms to pay off a one-off fee of £250,000 to avoid ever paying the UK tax on overseas earnings. No, it's 10 years worth. That's fake news. Did I go through this in today's video? I can't remember.
Lies on the internet.
I'm not being funny, but this is like they've only seen this criticism and not actually looked at the paper, despite the fact that the criticism that I was talking about from that Dan Needle, it had the policy within the website that within the page that he shared as like his report. It had the whole thing, and yeah, even in there it says 10 years. This was another thing I had a problem with the criticism. It had a load of basic errors in, which like Zia Yusuf, obviously, because this is one of his policies. He was very much saying, like, did you read the policy or not? Because you keep getting basic things wrong. And he's like, yeah, I got an advance copy. And then it's like, well, how'd you get so much wrong then? So yeah, they have to pay $250,000 every 10 years if they want to keep it. Proceeds will be sent directly to the bank accounts of the lowest earners, a policy that Reform argues would mean a windfall of hundreds of pounds for 2.5 million workers. Just, again, to be quite specific on that, British nationals...
that means foreigners.
Well, it doesn't.
This will be going to a bunch of...
Well, it also another reason it won't be going to foreigners. They have to be in full-time work. I don't think that many foreigners are in full-time work, to be honest with you. Which apparently they get from HM. They get the information from HMRC. So it's actually mainly going to be going to Scotland. It's Scotland, Wales, and the North East. Which Scotland and Wales, at the very least, are like, you know, you cannot say it's going to foreigners there generally. North East is not as bad as the North West as well. At least according to that. What was it? Yeah, that is is it an OBR map? No, ONS map. No, the Northeast.
The lake.
The
Lakes isn't very foreign.
No, it's not, but that's also not where minimum wage workers are.
Oh, I don't know. The Barrow and Furnace and stuff. They're not pretty well off there.
Well, anyway. Point is that, you know, the areas they've talked about are not diverse London. Delivery drivers as well. Well, no, that's the thing, because that's the gig economy. They won't. No, it won't. They're not contracted. They won't count as full-time minimum wage workers. It's a gig economy.
They'll be getting it.
They won't. They can't. They can't as well, because most of them aren't paying tax. So
they're doing even better. They're doing even better.
They are doing even better, and Reform will sort them out, obviously. But anyway, like, returning to the classic non-dom status is obviously a good thing.
I hated Zaya's little shit about how, we've always been like, it was the same sort of diversity built Britain crap, pretending like, non-doms built Britain, we've always been a hub of them. No, we haven't.
Well, we've had it for 200 years. I'm not being funny.
Yeah, but we didn't have hordes of all these wealthy foreigners coming here. That was never the case. It was us. We were the wealthy ones.
Well, define a horde, I guess.
We were the wealthy ones. We weren't. They weren't coming to us. We were going out and taking everyone else's wealth. The base way of doing it.
I'm not. Well, I mean, I can already think off the top of my head
this idea.
Five non-doms in the Victorian times.
This nonsense idea that we were just this hub of all these international wealthy businessmen. Absolute crap.
Was it? I don't think.
Yes.
A lot of them are obviously British, but I mean, all right. I'll put it this way: Disraeli's family, they would have counted.
Yeah, exactly. You've got like
Brunel. His dad was French and built ships for the Navy. That's already two.
Yeah, two exactly. You're sounding like Henry VIII's trumpeter. Look at that. You know, he
didn't have non-dom status, did he?
He probably did, actually.
I don't think he was that rich. I mean, I don't really care.
I hate that it's more Tony Blair's crap, and I hate that they're trying to call it the Britannia card. This is the same Tony Blair's Cool Britannia stuff. It's taking the imagery of empire and sticking it on Globo Homo.
I can't believe they're copying the playbook of a man who won 3 general elections. That's crazy. Well, I mean, funny. Boris Johnson did similar things.
Donald Trump.
Like, this is just
he was an absolute traitor. Like, Boris Johnson did the same, and he was a traitor.
Having good marketing does not mean you'll go down the route of the same policy routes as Tony Blair and Boris Johnson. That's obviously not going to happen.
But this is Tony Blair's like, we're going to get international investment, guys! Yay! I don't care.
International investment in the UK is a good thing, actually.
I don't care. I'm sick of it. Just like being served up this shit and just told I like it.
I think you should like international investment. Yes, it's
How
good.
how no,
What do you mean no?
no, I'm sick of it.
You're really sick of it.
It's just because
That's not.
it's just
I'm sorry.
again, it's just
International finance has not been the bane of the country. That's not why we've got
well, isn't it?
Savile No.
I
What does
think it, I think it,
Savile
I think
do?
I think this hold that like all this international finance has on just the West in general isn't a good thing for just the ordinary people.
I'm not really for.
It's
We're
pure
the
global
home of it. We're the home of international finance. I mean, you can only
Yeah, I
blame
know.
us for that.
And we're not in a great position. Are we?
Sounds like Britain's been. Yeah, because we've held the whole thing. Everyone loves the 80s, 90s, well, late 80s, 90s, and 2000s because Thatcher effectively allowed for global finance to grow.
Yeah,
And then
and look, and this like
it's
you
all
know,
gone
it's
wrong
all
after
this
Blair,
perfect-
though. Again, this is only stuff you can blame on Blair. It was all going well under Thatcher. It went well after Thatcher under what's it called, John Major. Then Blair comes in. His first term's pretty good because he doesn't upset the apple cart too much. Then it's all PFIs. It's National Rail. You know, stealth
just means
corporatizing everything.
I know that. I'm not.
But
I'm
isn't
not
National Rail an example
absolving-
of international investment?
Yeah, exactly.
National Water, and it
I'm
wasn't
not.
National British Electric. I don't know how much of this actually got outsourced.
Well, again,
I'm not saying
who was it
I'm not
outsourced
saying-
under? It was all Tony Blair.
Well,
I'm
no,
not saying-
I'm not saying.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
saying
that
Blair-
actually international investment doesn't always.
Mhm.
It doesn't always benefit us.
Yes.
Oh, like international investment, like don't let them buy utilities.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. But
Like foreigners should be taxed more on everything they buy here. Any house,
only
more taxes. Pay more taxes, foreigners.
The only problem there is
I'm
that
not actually against that.
well, no, I mean I can empathize, but the only problem there is that we have a problem where a lot of money has left England, and there's no real reason for them to bring it back.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean,
yeah.
and
Well, the
even-
point of this
and
is to, and the point of this is to get it back effectively.
like some
Or
of
it's
this
not.
stuff, like one of the complaints is, properties in London are being sold by these people leaving. Good, like no,
You're not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. People.
Well,
I'm
I know,
sorry. The
I
high
know,
end
I'm not.
market is like that is not gonna help the housing market, is it?
Yeah, I know, but I don't care. It's like, I just don't care.
I mean, you cannot care.
This
The reason
isn't an issue to me.
people the reason people bring it up is it's a sure sign that rich people are leaving. That's the only reason people bring it up. It's not necessarily because it's a bad thing that. Well, I mean, it is a bad thing that non-noms are leaving because they pay in fucking millions. What was the statistic on income tax? I think there's about 75,000 of them, and altogether they contribute about 6.3 billion in income tax, which is absolutely crazy compared to obviously compared to like your medium wage earners. You know when people always go on about the rich don't pay tax. It's like that's like
they pay like
that
I
make
think it was like the upper 20% pay like 90% of the tax,
I mean,
something like that.
Yeah.
we are talking about like the 1% there. I can't remember how much income tax actually makes, but that's probably a good like 5% of it. Probably less than that, but it's not bad for non-doms. But anyway, yeah.
But it's like it's this pandering to these people rather than us. It's
the
like,
people that
I'm
run the
sick of
whole
it.
thing, like not run the whole thing, but manage to pay mostly for the whole thing.
Why are we reliant on foreigners? This is bad.
Well,
it's not good. Like if they want to be part of us, drop the non-dom status. Actually, be one of us.
The point isn't that they're one of us, though. The point is that it's a temporary thing. Like the permanent residence is elsewhere. It's just extracting the wealth from them.
Exactly.
This is
don't
a
care
base
about
thing
them.
to do. Well, you don't need to care about them. You just need to take their money. What do you want about?
Well, I want I want
This,
them taxed more. Tax them more.
Harry, and one thing I will mention, I mean, I do sort of begrudgingly agree with you on a lot of this, but one thing I will mention is that I'm seeing the same issue with this as I'm seeing with the population conversation, where it's like, rather than putting effort into trying to actually build wealth in England, we're trying to import it. And I understand why we're doing it. I'm just saying that I don't see it as a winning strategy because,
listen,
in the same way as we're not building families here,
yeah,
we're trying to import workers from abroad.
Mohammed loves Dubai, and he just wants us to be like Dubai, which is the sort of stuff they do.
Oh no,
I hate Dubai.
not a
Dubai's a
not
shit
a very successful country.
Dubai is
no.
a shit. It's a disgusting.
How did this fishing
like
this fishing village turn into what the centre for global billionaires? What a terrible future.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking about Singapore, they tax foreigners way more. They've got all sorts of restrictions on foreigners.
You see this £250,000 they have to pay. That's a tax. That's a tax that no British person pays. So don't give me this, I want them taxed more. They are literally being taxed more. They pay more. They do, by definition of paying this, pay more than any UK resident who's a billionaire.
But they'll offshore loads of their earnings and stuff.
So do loads of the Brits. What do you mean?
If I was in a situation where I was going to say I would do it too if I was in a situation.
Oh no, I know. I like British people dodging tax is a
based on red pill, yeah.
British people dodging it is a patriotic duty, yeah. But the foreigners should just be taxed more. Want to buy a property? Tax more.
I mean, they do pay stamp duty.
The whole tariff thing is actually making more sense to me now. Sorry, Aaron, what were you saying?
The thing is, Tharium saying, "Oh, they should be taxed more. They should be taxed more." Currently, the ones leaving are paying nothing, so bringing them to get taxed is, by definition, taxing them more. So
don't care.
That was actually something that kind of threw me a little bit with the because I watched the interviews that Farage did recently, and I'm just like, why are you so brazenly basically saying in your interview that you want them to come here to be taxed? I'm sort of thinking, if I saw that, I'd be like,
you mean?
I don't want to go there to be taxed, you know.
Oh, because that's not a message for you, is it? That's a message for the people in Newcastle who are watching GB News. Like, oh, I want rich to be taxed, and so that my kid who's working 40 hours as an intern gets 600 quid a year. That's the thinking there. Which is another side of this, by the way. This is and why it's quite novel and clever. Effectively, what they've done is genuinely they've incentivized they've incentivized effectively plebs to actually care about getting billionaire books over here.
It's not happening.
What do you mean it's not happening?
If anything, you're getting like £100. You're getting like £100. It's pathetic. It's just again more wealth redistribution. It's just sad. It's like just stop.
I'm not being funny. It's a very base. I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny here. Based on red pilled to directly take money from foreigners to give it to actual full-time working people in the north of Scotland.
More foreigners.
My wild card take is that I don't actually disagree. I just think that I think it's a very shaky foundation. I think that it can do well if implemented correctly, but again, it's like
the only bit that matters really, the main bit that matters that they don't want to talk about, mainly talk about, is as I've been saying, get the nom-doms back, because they were very useful for tax intake
why would they come
and
here?
Investment. Well, it's not. They're not just going to change the rules on giving them the non-dom status back. They'll do a whole reform of the way the tax system works to make it less ridiculous like it is now. They'll probably promise to slowly bring the tax burden down, like Thatcher did in the late 70s.
But that's the thing, right? Because I'm thinking, let's say that you're a nom-dom.
Mm-hmm.
You've already moved your money abroad or your assets abroad.
Yeah.
And you already, why would you move it back? This is the thing that bothers me.
People don't
I don't have an answer for it.
People don't just move because of monetary incentives. A lot of people quite like moving to London because it is as bad as some of the areas are. Central London's still largely a cultural hub. Sadiq Khan's done his best to not make it so, but it is still seen as a cultural hub. Education's really good here, despite the issues with the unis. People still want to send their kids to Oxford and Cambridge, say. Plus, you've still got Eton that exists. So there's way more to it than just monetary incentives. there's just just soft power, for lack of a better term, is another factor. The education system's still the best in Europe, surprisingly.
It could just be being.
It's just wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
How bad it is.
I don't think it's me just being. I wonder if it's just me being blackpilled, but I'm just wondering how much of that is still valid.
As long as the rich still think it, I'm fine. It's okay.
As I always say, Aaron, I hope you're right. I
am very aware that I am on the more optimistic end of the internet.
That's why I appreciate you, man. Like, because I am. I get blackpilled a lot these days, and I appreciate it. Sorry, Aaron, I interrupted you.
I think Estonia has just a 20% flat tax.
That would
something like that.
It's quite funny. When Farage is on a podcast that he knows not many people will listen to, he'll start going uber Thatcherite like that. He'll say, "Oh, this would be all my ideals," but the British people aren't ready.
Jacob Rees-Mogg wanted this.
Yeah, I know he did.
This was his thing. He always wanted just flat tax.
I think I said it on Discord the other day. In fact, there was a YouGov poll out today. I think it was something stupid, like 56% of British people would support more tax on the rich, even if it lowered the tax intake from them. Like your average British voter is mental.
Actually retarded.
Yeah, which is why I said the other day.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you've already said it. It don't really matter. But please. I mean, I've not been on it for weeks, but please stop swearing.
I'm trying.
But this is why I said, like, we just have lunatic voters. Hence, reform basically just has to directly bribe people, because they will not understand that non-doms here means investment, means more money, means VAT, means they'll buy super yachts, which down the supply chain will matter to the people in the steel industry, say, etc., etc., etc. They're not going to know these full. Whatever. It's just an example that I pulled out my head. The point is,
I mean, look, if Newcastle could get their their maritime industry back up, it's just that we're making super yachts instead of aircraft carriers. I would be on board with that.
That would be a good incentive to do that. Yeah,
but literally, unironically, that would be great.
But I hate to say it, but your average pleb isn't gonna really care to think about third or fourth order effects. It's not that they're incapable of it; it's just they don't care, which is fine.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to be very first order, like reform have been, which I say in the video loads. Like, instinctively, I'm against redistribution. However, if you are going to do redistribution, absolutely do it for full-time working Brits. Okay, some will be of foreign origin, like the odd one, whatever. We don't live in the perfect world. But also, you're paying it directly from foreigners. Like, it's the most based way I can think of doing wealth redistribution, in that it's not very large. At most, it's 2.5 billion, and that's on a really good day. And it's like, what, a few hundred, 600 is the lowest estimate, I think. That they're hoping it's going to get to 1,000.
Yeah, it'll be like 100.
No,
it'll be like 100.
It won't. I don't think it'll be that low.
Yeah, it will.
But
name one single government policy that has ever actually made the money it claims. Yeah.
Income tax in World War II. World War One.
Hang on, let's be fair. Let's be fair, Tharium. These are not OBR statistics, so they're much more trustworthy.
No. It's all government policy. Yeah, we've got this plan, and it will make billions. Will it? Oh no, it actually cost us billions. Every government policy.
I mean, think about it this way: if 1,000 people. What are they thinking? So I think the 600 comes from if 6,000 people take it up.
It's like Cero said. Why would they? It's not going to happen.
Well, 70,000 are still here.
Yeah. I doubt they're going to change.
Yeah, so they'll pay the 250,000. Yeah.
No. I'm saying they won't. They won't take it up, because why would they?
Well, why? Because it saves them tax. Because they're being taxed on foreign assets.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? That was the point of it. The point of offering this is that it saves you money. That's the point.
But it's not going to have the uptake they think. It just won't. Nothing ever does.
I mean, again, I hope you're right.
It's not. I'm not being funny. They used to have to pay more than this when the Tories were in, and they had to pay 30,000 a year. They had more people, actually. They had like 100,000. So they will take it up. What are you talking about?
No, because there's going to be more people leaving. They're going to be leaving. Like Sarah says, they're going to be leaving.
Yes, but
they're not going to bother coming back.
They're highly mobile and they can come back because it might be more attractive than the other places. As I say, we're very lucky in Britain in that we have the 1,000-year history. Oh, it's been destroyed. Yeah, whatever. But we do have the history still. We have the soft power. We have the excellent schools. You know, most of our teachers are having to go over to Dubai to teach English there, by the way. They can just come to Britain and have the same teachers who, and they're actually surrounded by English, which is also another thing they like.
No, I don't want that.
Trust me, Tharium. No, it's not Dubai people. It's rich people, mostly from all over Europe. By the way,
Dubai people are disgusting.
I'm not being funny. They are not going to be going to schools that will even remotely associate with you, so I wouldn't particularly worry about seeing them. Anyway, we'll move on from this. I was told to keep quiet. Councillor reveals how he defied orders to expose rape cover-up at taxpayer-funded asylum hotel.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, Councillor George Madgwick, leader of the Portsmouth Independent Party, claimed he received confidential communications directing him to not discuss the incident publicly. I received a confidential email from council officers which basically said, "This is what's happened, please don't say a word." The case forms part of 3 rape cases where suspects' accommodation in asylum facilities was allegedly not disclosed to the public. So yeah, this guy just said, well, I'm not having that, and decided to go to GB News to tell his story, and I even posted to Facebook and Twitter, basically saying, I've been told not to talk about this.
Did he get found committing suicide while running through a forest naked with 3 gunshots in the back of his head?
Believe it or not, the Portsmouth Council does not have the hitman budget you'd think.
It doesn't have the Hillary Clinton.
Exactly.
You know.
Following legal consultation, he actually discovered he could publicly discuss the information. I was advised that anything I can find is in the public realm I'm allowed to talk about, so obviously he was told basically not to signal boost it, but it was actually, I suppose, in the court documents, which are public. I even went to the court the next day to support the victim and effectively tell her that he had her support and he was going public with it. So, yeah, he's a good guy.
Good guy, yeah.
I think I've actually met him, but I can't remember where. I'll put it this way.
Is it the Witten by any chance?
No, it wasn't. No. I've been Facebook friends with this guy for probably as long as I've been on YouTube, so I must have met him at a Liberalist meetup.
Okay.
So that's all I could think, but I can't remember which one. Might have even been at the Dankula March. Cannot remember. But
we can get a Worcester Club card to send to him.
Well, maybe. So yeah, I mean, as we were saying before, there's still cover-ups. So more inquiries.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Until they're all done, they will be covered up.
UK's first trans MP, Katie Wallace, admits harassing ex-wife.
Really quickly, sorry, just before we go on to that.
Oh, that's all right.
Did we actually ever get a? Did we ever get anything followed up from like the Gary Glitter, Jimmy Savile stuff?
Well, why would you? They're dead.
Yeah. I know that they're dead, but like.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone at the BBC got punished for covering it up. Police certainly didn't.
Yeah, I was just thinking because it wasn't just them. It was like in the Savile case, like hospital staff, like police.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I don't think we got anything. Anyway, I mean, to be honest, I'm only glazing over this because
Starmer
was a Tory. Yep, head of the CPS.
Head of CPS too. Then at the time.
Oh, so I remember Boris Johnson bringing that up in Parliament, and everyone I know was like, "Oh, that's a bit."
How dare you? Boris.
How could he? Yeah.
It's like, why aren't you worried that he was covering up a mass paedophile? What?
one of the few good things Boris actually did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just. Yeah.
Baffling.
Boris was good near the start. Then COVID happened. So yeah, the former Conservative MP for Bridgend in Wales has also become the first transgender MP in the UK to plead guilty to a crime. Oh, well done. Big claps.
It's the first time for everything.
The harassing ex-wife. Bridgend of all places. It's like one of the most industrial places in South Wales, by the way. And this was their representative. It's not what you'd expect, is what I'm saying.
Did they elect him as a man.
Did they elect
and
the
then this
man
came afterwards? You know,
Could you do a referendum at that point? It's just like, this is literally not the person that I voted for. After that.
Well, it was revealed in 2022 that he was transgender, so they will have elected elected Jamie, ended up with Katie, and he harasses his ex-wife.
It's just like, you look at your ballot one year and then you look at your ballot another year and like, this is literally not the same person. Can I get a referendum?
You remember that? It's a few years ago now, but remember when scientists were trying to make the what people will look like after working in office jobs for 50 generations or whatever?
Yeah, I remember.
Literally looks like that model.
Goblin,
humped back, really pale. Yep. Yeah.
He's not wearing pajama trousers.
Yeah, just God, that was creepy. Anyway, Kemi Badenoch takes inspiration from Denmark on migrant integration.
I hate this so much.
I've seen mixed things on Twitter.
Clans. That sort of endears me to her a little bit. So let's hear what she has to say. So
Britain requires more active integration of migrants, Kemi Badenoch has said, as she drew inspiration from Denmark's so-called anti-ghetto laws. Yeah, I'm not being funny, but if you're going to model your assimilation and immigration policy after anyone, Denmark's the country to do it. The Tory leadership...
Was Denmark the one where the person went... Was it I can't remember, it was some leftist thing, and they were shocked that they spoke to what they would consider a liberal party, and they were like, yeah, we need everyone to integrate. Was that Denmark?
This was them talking. I think it was Denmark, but they were talking about, we're going to publish crime statistics.
Crime statistics, that was the one, yeah.
Oh, with Simon Reeve.
And they were shocked about it. It was amazing.
I don't was he shocked? I don't think he was that shocked.
He was saying,
he was just like, how do I put this? Try to be really.
No, sorry, I'm defending Simon Reeve here. Simon Reeve just always plays devil's advocate. He's relatively normal. He is a bit lefty, but that's not him being shocked. That's him trying to be nice, playing devil's advocate. I used to watch all his stuff. I really like him. So I'm gonna defend him.
Declaring leftist and carrying on.
He was, yeah.
I think leftist is a little harsh, but he is definitely left wing.
I could be harsh. Sorry, carry
so
on.
the Tory leader has said she'll look at the Danish model and said that it was one of the things I'll be talking about more. In the Scandinavian countries, social housing areas with high levels of deprivation and a non-Western population above 50% are declared parallel societies. Fair. Such declaration can trigger requirements to reduce the amount of social housing in an area. Are we against that? Including through evicting residents and demolishing or turning their homes into private housing. Restrictions can also be placed on who can move there. I mean, I'm not being funny, but yes, please.
Can we restrict Black Rock buying or whatever the English?
No, it's not deporting them straight away. Come on, Tharium.
Yeah, this is crap. No, this is crap. It's just I want them all. All the problems. I want them all in their little ghetto, isolated. I don't want. All this does is it spreads the problem out to everyone else who doesn't want it. It's you'll get people who fled these areas to go somewhere else, and then look. It's all happening again. Brilliant. It just hastens the spread of it. Can't stand it.
Badenoch said she backed that sort of thing when asked whether she would consider a similar policy. She said, I think integration is not enough. I say assimilate. I think assimilation should be the target, and if people don't assimilate, then they integrate. Right, that's cringe.
Oh,
no,
Jesus Christ.
If they don't assimilate, they get deported. That's the way you should be going, you cringe woman. But we've had so many people, so high numbers, people from lots of different places, which is not what immigration used to look like, and I think we need to move from passive to active integration. Okay.
You see, it's just
what does that mean?
Forcing.
Yeah,
I
don't know what that means.
Somalians upon nice little villages that want nothing to do with them. God, I hate it so much.
Again, what does that mean?
Well,
I understand what I understand what the buzzwords mean, but okay, let me rephrase that. What does she think she means when she says that?
It's just population movement.
Well, I
We're
mean,
gonna move. We're gonna move
Does
Somalians from here into this nice little village to rape your
like does she
grandma.
have?
Brilliant.
Does she actually have like? I'm trying not to sound rude, but like, does she actually have like an idea of? Does she have like principle or policy or any sort of
No.
like guiding?
your average Tory policy from Kemi Badenoch is effectively review everything. That's effectively what their policy has been for the past few like months. Like net zero, they don't say they're going to get rid of it. They say they'll review the target.
Oh yeah, like ECHR. You know,
ECHR will
consider it.
review it. Yeah, we'll review ECHR and a few other laws and see where the issues are. And it's
14
which
years
is
to review it.
Which is pathetic because when you're in opposition, you're free to go wild with stuff
it makes
because it doesn't matter.
It makes reform look base because Tice was on another podcast the other day, basically saying the not the ECH. Well, no, they do want to get out the ECHR, which Tories are reviewing. And then when it comes to the Equality Act, Richard Tice, he does the gay thing of good intentions and whatever, but it's like no, it needs to go or completely change so that you can't have stupid equal pay laws and so that you can actually deport people. Like it's making the reform look really based.
I mean, again, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
My eggs are all in this basket as much as I.
And the reform aren't in the slightest, which shows how pathetic the Tories are.
From a ridiculous perspective, yes, they do not look based, despite the fact they're saying everything. Well, not everything Tharium wants, but pretty much everything I want.
Listen to what they actually say though.
I do listen to what they say.
They're a joke. No. It's an absolute.
They're such a joke. They hit 34% in Ipsos poll this week.
Because it's just
38% in.
There's no election.
There's no election.
There's no election coming up.
And when there wasn't
yeah, Tharium, when there is an election, they beat all the polls.
So I would not be bringing that up.
Local stuff.
Actually, I'm not going to.
Nobody cares about local stuff. It's just people going, I'm not happy with how things currently are.
Both the major parties had an existential crisis. What do you mean nobody cares? Goodness me.
The fact is, at the end of the day, it's as much as I might hate to say it, it is our only option, and so we need to. It is for now.
It will always be. I'm sorry. There's no alternative coming up. They're all jokes.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, there are lots of alternatives, but all of them are very, very messy. So for I want reform to do well, and I want them to at least do at least half of what we need them to do. If that's the case, then I'll consider that a victory.
Just absolute wasted energy to push any sort of other party. Total wasted energy. Ben Habib will be the one to save us. Unbelievable.
I don't think it's wasted, but I do think that it's like, if you were looking at just raw chances to win, that is the thing at the end of the day, which I care most about.
I've said it for ages. I'd be fine with the criticism of reform if it was remotely accurate, but it's always just total. I was going on about that freaking guy talking about the £38 billion that Reform would have to make up for their policy, which turned out to be crap OVR statistics. Yeah. I saw so many righties basically retweeting the guy saying, "Oh, he's nailed it. Reform aren't serious, what have you?" And it's like you're standing by a Labour activist, quoting OBR numbers to try and take down Reform. You're a useful idiot at that point. Just as I always say, it's Farage derangement syndrome. Nobody bothers to look at anything. Just, is there anything to bash Reform with? Yes. I'm talking about people that are taken seriously and go on GB News as well.
Don't get me wrong, Aaron. I'm not entirely sold with everything that Farage says.
Fine.
But again, I feel like I don't.
Shouldn't be.
But then at the same time, I don't have the luxury of, again, alternatives that I personally consider serious. And so therefore I will take him at his word for it, but I am dubious. But then I also openly say, and the chat knows this as well, I admit that I am very black-pilled at the moment. I know that I shouldn't be, because we have had a major reversal, but it's kind of like if we have a reversal, like culturally, and we do nothing with it, then there's the chance that we'll either end up back where we were or in a worse situation.
So the criticisms have to actually be useful and not just, I'm going to parrot OBR statistics at Farage because I don't like that he's winning. It's got to be better than
yeah.
that. It's got to be
Some
better
of
than
the
that,
some
and
of
it's
the
not.
some
It's horrendous.
some of the criticisms have been just completely like
I think
and I will say that.
I think some's underestimating it. I think most of them have. There's criticisms
fair,
of Farage. I make them. Like,
my view is
everyone
very.
goes
I was gonna say
Farage.
my view on this is very limited, and I will admit that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, anyway, I'm not even
Yeah, sorry, I just derailed.
against. No, it's fine. We're all derailed.
I've elaborated, Vicar. It's all the comments from all their crap. I'm just so sick of being served up shit and told enjoy it.
You should enjoy it. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's
and
very
Harry,
good.
Like Harry,
very
your
good
position
Cheshire
is like
Housewives.
your position is like, oh well, this is the best shit we're gonna get. So yummy, yummy, yummy. I just.
What do you?
I'm just
end it then. I don't know, man. Like this, your only other alternative Civil War, and you're too ill to do anything useful in that. Just end it. Like I don't know. I don't have any other advice for you.
Shall we?
Vicar saying like being radicalized. It's just I'm just sick of everything. That's the real thing.
You are very much radicalized. It's very funny.
Like my positions haven't really changed. I'm just getting sick of everything. That's all.
I don't think that it would be fair to say that Tharium's necessarily radicalized. Like he's again talking about him third person with him present. Like I don't think he's being unreasonable with the way that he feels. And I whether the criticisms or whatever are valid or not, that's for all of us to decide.
The ultimate disconnect the online right have with like the way reform are going.
That actually sounded good at all. I'm sorry, Tharium. Sorry, Harry. You carry on.
It's fine. I don't hold it against Tharium because he's actually willing to listen out to the alternatives he constantly gets thrown in his face. If anything, it's like John Wick in the server sometimes. But he the meme.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
it's you versus everyone else.
Oh yeah, I know.
So
that's because I am the true Anglo, and the true Anglo is always surrounded by enemies.
I mean, that's why Tharium's invited back usually. I mean, his criticisms kind of,
correct.
They're not correct though, are they? They're not
correct.
remotely
They
correct.
are correct.
Well, this takes me on to what, like the complete disconnect the online right have with the normies. I think, I mean, I'm still in shock by how much normies do believe in the Windrush myth. Like my mum still goes on about it. I'm sure. Again, she's relative. She's only ever voted Tory. She voted Brexit Party actually in the EU election, the last one. Right wing normies are quite posed, and I think there's quite an underestimation of that. And you're not going to win elections by going all Rupert Lowe saying deport them all, ban the burqa, and talking about basically nothing else. It's just not going to work.
Your definition of right wing is actually quite leftist.
It doesn't. Then that's your average centre righty. Like it doesn't matter.
No,
like you still need these votes.
Part of the problem with that is that the average right winger in this country is a little bit lefty in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it is true. I don't know. I joke that I'm really like hard right in a lot of cases, and for most people that I know, I literally am. But if I take If I take a political compass test, I am like center right with a slight preference towards free markets. I am very, very, I'm very center in my perspective, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm Sorry, carry on.
Those political compasses, you've got like I come out like quite centrist as well. I'm thinking, what? How is that? Yeah, I think these political compass things are just like, oh no, yeah, you're actually centrist.
I mean, possibly it could just be the kind of thing as I was. Doing,
I'd say bear in mind those political compass tests bring Hitler out to a authoritarian centrist. So
yeah, okay, exactly, yeah.
I'd actually
hope for me, yeah.
I'd actually argue that's quite accurate for National Socialism. Your authoritarian right, you'd be like Pinochet, but anyway.
I mean, maybe it's a geography thing, but like the people, like a lot of the people I encounter are
I am not
definitely more based than you sort of think.
I am not. I would not be shocked if that's the case in Kent, where you end up with an awful lot of the immigration. That doesn't particularly shock me. But you know, the Britain isn't Kent. It would be my reply.
Jack would agree with me. Jack would agree.
Of course he would. He's from Kent.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've got family who live in Kent, and they're all left wing, all voted Corbyn.
Well, I did say earlier that things aren't perfect here.
Yeah. Tharium hasn't come to power yet, so. Yeah.
I was about to say. To be fair, they're all from the north, but that's not actually true. It was only my auntie who's from the north. The rest of them are all from. Well, obviously the kids were born in the south. No, they're not. None of them are French.
Your DNA says otherwise.
Anyway, we've gone off topic too much. Thanks, Cero. Migrants kept in hotels despite losing claim for asylum. Yeah, your assimilation isn't working with these people. They just need deporting. What have the Tories actually said on all these migrant hotels? Because I'm not actually sure on that.
We don't have enough.
Yeah, because they keep One thing I keep noticing about like Robert Jenrick and Chris Philp, you know, what's the thing? They've been going on about tool theft for about 2 weeks now, and it feels like it's a problem, and I don't mind them going on about it, but it feels like, you know, you should be going on about crime in general.
Yes.
It feels more like that's something that an independent YouTuber would like make slick videos about. Or a TikToker. You know, you're in opposition. I'd kind of bring that together as a, you know, oh, look at all this tool theft, look at this graffiti, look at the bins. Like, you bring all
Devil's advocate
stuff together.
Devil's advocate
go on.
Is that generic crime...
No,
generic crime is... Sorry?
Oh, right, no, sorry, I thought you were making a generic joke. No, go on.
No.
Yeah.
Like, generic crime as a topic is important and we should do it. But the problem is that when you deal with abstractions, then you tend to stay in abstractions. The devil's advocate that I'll give is that specific crimes are easier to pinpoint on individuals. So you might know someone who has had like tools stolen, or you might have had tools stolen yourself.
I get
that's the only devil's advocate I can think of.
Well, well, as I say, it there's usefulness to it. What I'd say, it's more of the thing of, typically with these sorts of things, they'd kind of be funded by the Tories. It wouldn't be Jenrick hosting it. It'd be, you know, some social media star. They'd effectively say, make all this slick stuff, then come see Jenrick as part of like a network of people that look at different crimes, rather than just Jenrick doing it himself, because it makes it look like Jenrick's about to come out as a TikTok star after he retires as an MP.
I mean,
because you know,
work for him.
Yeah, it might do. I mean, Dead End Satellite said Jenrick's just the alt Ed Davey. No, Ed Davey doesn't do anything useful. Jenrick's actually somewhat useful.
I do. I can't dislike Ed Davey though.
I don't dislike Ed Davey, but he is
how can
useless.
Anyone? He's just. Oh yeah, but I mean, he's having fun.
Ed Davey.
It does make me want to be a Lib Dem MP, seeing Ed Davey.
I think we've said, but actually Ed Davey is the best politician we have at the moment, because he's very good at sticking to his lane and keeping it going. Yeah. Honestly, unironically, next election it could be Tory majority with Lib Dem opposition.
I mean, it's like
God, that's a disaster.
You want to hear my tax policy? Well, how about instead I give you a picture of me on a roller coaster? I just love it.
And the one time they actually announce policy, it's like a universally hated thing. Do you hate people? Brilliant. Do you hate people playing music out loud on a train? Yes, I do. Can you deport them, please?
This is my sort of radicalization coming in. You know, what would you notice about these headphone dodgers? Oh, brilliant!
It was very funny, actually. I have to say, I very rarely run into, let's say, the Boris waivers being the problem there. The problem I see with people on trains is actually it's usually European women. They tend to be quite bad with it, but obviously it'll be a London thing where obviously you have more of the Boris waivers being the issue. It's quite funny.
Matt Goodwin had his his trip into London tweet the other day.
It's so over.
Did you see that?
He basically said it's so over. Which you have to laugh, otherwise you'd cry. Oh, he basically just went in saying, like, basically think of Epi. You know, in Finn versus History when they say how Tucker Carlson views London, it was basically the tweet, but it was all believable.
Did he have a thing about on the journey up some Indian?
I think he talks about a Boris waiver on the train with their headphones. Yeah.
He just hated the whole thing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Vicar for my area in Kent in the last local elections, the Lib Dems came dead last because they actually fielded an Indian. So,
there. I mean, to be fair as well, like Doge seemed to be finding an absolute shed load of your money being wasted. Unlucky.
I mean, a lot of that stuff has been a joke. Like you're saying, the bridge to nowhere. It wasn't a bridge to nowhere. You know, it was some development plan that didn't work out. Yeah, and some of this stuff.
So it was a bridge to nowhere. Waste. What do you mean?
No, it's not. It's not. It wasn't a waste. You know, this happens all the time. Developments, whatever, for whatever reason.
Where does that bridge go? Finished. Where does that bridge go if there's no development?
But it's being dishonest to say.
Where does that bridge go if there's no development there, Tharium? Come on. Come on.
But you're being dishonest if you say
not being dishonest. Nowhere. Well, it does go. It literally goes nowhere. You just said the development's not there because it's not being built.
It goes to a lovely field. That I would like to walk through.
Such cove. Just Jesus Christ.
No, but you've got to be honest.
These things are usually part of wider plans, and if only part of the plan is
it happens.
Like,
it happens.
I do get it, but it is kind of funny. Like in a vacuum, it is funny that it literally does go to nowhere.
It literally does go to nowhere, though. What do you mean? Like it got cancelled. It doesn't matter if there were plans for a development. The development got cancelled. It's a total waste of money.
But if you're talking about waste, this isn't waste.
What do you mean it's not waste? It's a bridge that goes nowhere. What do you mean?
No, it wasn't. Well, if the plans hadn't fallen through, how these construction things work, it's not a waste.
NIMBY Tharium pro building bridges to nowhere.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that the thing didn't happen because I hate building.
Oh God! You're being rinsed for being a NIMBY and pretending this bridge was useful.
No, I'm just saying. I'm glad it didn't happen because I hate building.
Oh my God! Science turned you into a mini YIMBY. I hate Zaya so much. I'm defending YIMBYism bridges. I get what he's saying, but by definition, it doesn't matter what the plan was. Like it fell through, therefore it goes nowhere. Like I was planning to make a cake, but my fucking oven blew up. Then you've not made a cake, have you? You
but you had a very good thought.
Yes, exactly.
You were very thoughtful about it.
Anyway, you have to be black pill with it. Look at this. Record levels from Starmer there. Look at that. Look at those numbers. Absolutely huge.
The gangs have been crushed, haven't they?
They've been absolutely smashed.
Yeah, smashed.
Anyway, Notting Hill Carnival at risk without funding for public safety. They are just so against ticketing it. It's so funny. It's sort of everything just to like close off the road and ticket it, but they refuse to do it.
Oh yeah,
it's so funny.
I liked how Glastonbury were complaining about walls.
Oh, that
when
was
Trump was
golden.
doing stuff, and then there, there's a wall.
Literally written on the fronts, build bridges, not walls. Which, to be fair, Lincoln did. It just went nowhere. Oh, this was a horrible one. Private school children with cancer banned from hospital classroom unless they pay. Not even...
What?
Wait, what?
So,
what?
Privately educated children with cancer and other serious conditions are excluded from the hospital teaching services unless a fee of £115 per hour, more than double the typical cost of cover teachers or home tuition, is paid by the family or their schools. effectively, the argument is because they don't go to a state school and it's all privately educated,
Wait,
then when they're in the hospital, they need to also privately pay because.
so, wait, this is kids with cancer who are being charged extra for treatment because of their school?
Not treatment, education. So while they're in
Yeah,
hospital,
so
they'll have
tutoring.
lessons. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get the treat, but it's still ridiculous, isn't it?
I mean, that's still like actually awful.
Yeah, because I think the argument is that it's covered by the school, but because you're privately educated, the private school
I
doesn't
see. So
cover
this is
it.
like a school. This is a school ran in the hospital for sick kids, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, tutoring for kids that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think the argument is that it's not an NHS service, but you know, why would it only be offered to kids in state school? Answer: because we're a country run with mental socialists in charge.
Just it's like going after sick kids is always just a stupid thing to do.
It's a terrible like. If you care about nothing else, it's a terrible look.
Yeah.
So Finn, an 8-year-old who attends George Watson College in Edinburgh, had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosed. I probably butchered that. Suddenly,
lymphoma.
that's it. Suddenly, when a swelling appeared in his neck last summer, his mother, Christy, a solicitor in Edinburgh, said her son made friends with a patient from London when he went on the Lochranza ward, undergoing chemotherapy from August to October last year. By the way, if you've not been to Lochranza in the Isle of Arran, very nice place. Basically the home of geology. So there you go. Plus there's a nice ruined castle. She said it was the one bit of normality that Finn had. They would sit and play the card game Uno in the kitchen. But this chap who went to school in London would then have access to the tutor. The tutor would call this wee boy for his lesson, and then Finn wouldn't be able to go. She asked why. We just didn't want to tell him it's because it's just so... Kirsty said that her son asked his parents why he didn't receive lessons from the teacher like the other children, and she said, we didn't want to tell him because it's just so awful. The Scottish capital is known to have a high percentage of private school students. One analysis placed the figure at 21%. During the Edinburgh City Council meeting, the SNP councillor said the fee-paying schools should be teaching the sick pupils and accused them of failing to support children undergoing cancer treatment. All right.
What?
That is a mad response.
I mean, I don't actually expect private schools to fly out individual tutors to students.
Yeah, that's just... I don't... What?
Because that's what they're saying.
How... If you've got children's ward and you just have a classroom, why?
Yes.
How is it any more cost to have another child in there?
Maybe
it's a bit...
You can say
Yeah.
it's taking up more resources from the other kids, but fuck off.
They've all got cancer, man. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's incredibly concerning if private or fee-paying schools are so easily discharging their responsibility to their own pupils. I think that's heartbreaking,
Jesus
actually.
Christ.
Yeah, the greedy schools.
What?
That's the issue here. So Kirsty claims this picture is untrue. Watson's offered to send teachers to the ward, and many friends who are teachers in both the state and private sector offered to come to the hospital to tutor Finn. Unfortunately, this is not a safe practice or realistic solution. The ward is full of immunocompromised children receiving life-saving chemo. There are strict infection control protocols to be followed. The suggestion that there could be a revolving door of different teachers who have been in classrooms all day exposed to chickenpox, etc., coming in and out of the ward is not realistic.
So the school did actually do the thing that they're criticising them not doing.
Yeah, but the SNP
They
won't have
offered.
known that. Yeah, they'll have just made an assumption because it's like, ooh, greedy
Yeah.
private sector. Ugh. Just, yeah.
Actually, most charitable teachers in the country.
Yeah. Ironically, the awful day when a Watson's family...
I mean, and
Gone.
also just one thing, like this, any teachers sent by this private school, I'm sure would have no problem including other kids. in
Yeah,
whatever
probably.
lessons they were doing.
Yeah, probably. Ironically, the awful day when a Watson's family was denied education support in the hospital for their very sick child, the same day we had taken a pupil from the neighbouring state school into one of our advanced higher classes because of a teacher shortage in their school. We'd taken a pupil from a neighbouring state school into one of our advanced higher classes. So they didn't let the kid with cancer in, but they did let someone else from another school come in.
Some
Is what
random,
they're saying. Ugh.
So this other kid isn't even sick.
Yeah.
The whole point of this thing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what's happened here. So just, I hate socialists. Again, You know that guy, that Labour activist who was a tax advisor that I said before? He advised the SNP on their tax policy too, just saying. Right. Woke being put away. Manchester celebrates start of site of UK's first majority LGBTQ plus housing scheme.
Oh. What is this? Just a home for the gays?
Pretty much. During Pride Month, great
Actually,
place.
I've changed my mind. I actually really like this.
No,
Just like with the immigrants, keep them all
no.
in the gay ghetto.
Oh God. During Pride Month, Great Palaces hosted partners at an event to mark the official start on the site in its £37 million flagship majority LGBTQ extra care social rent housing scheme in Whalley Range. Plan for the scheme has been co-produced by partnership with the Russell Road Community Steering Group, Manchester City Council and LGBT Foundation. It's amazing. Doge has managed to find a massive waste of money without actually being involved in the council. That's amazing. Once completed, the new development built on the site of the former...
Not being funny, but I could probably just, what's the game where you like wear a blindfold and you just throw a dart randomly? You could probably do that and find the same level of success rate.
I can't be bothered reading all this.
Do it, you coward.
It'll be finished in 2027.
What actually is it? Is it just gay houses?
So it will have 80 1- and 2-bedroom apartments for older people for social rent over the age of 55 and 40 available shared ownership apartments. And I guess they'll just earmark it for LGBT people. I think that's basically it. It's like LGBT only, please.
Oh wait, UK's first purpose-built majority LGBTQ plus extra care social rent housing. I love it.
Isn't that like against like some sort of like Equalities Act?
No, I like this. Build the gay ghettos. I like it.
I was gonna say you're building Gollum City from Mankind Divided.
You're just horrendous. Anyway, I had a request from Tosh to.
Oh, I was gonna say we should cover this.
Yeah,
that's good. Me and Tash on the same wavelength.
Yeah, so bears raid honey store after enclosure escape. So 2 bears escaped an enclosure at a wildlife trust. I think one was called Mish, the other Lucy. And yeah, they ate a week's worth of honey, and one of the bears basically just returned to the enclosure, and the other one had to be enticed with food, but was near it. But yeah, they basically just escaped, ate their body weight in honey, and then returned. That's the whole story. But it's
like you can't even really be angry at that. But like,
yeah, but there they are.
Amazing.
Look at them. Yeah, they went proper. They went proper Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, let me now.
Our greatest immigrant.
There we go.
Do you think they felt bad afterwards? Do you think it was like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, or did they just like Giga Chad bears just don't care?
I wash myself.
Where's the next pot of honey?
I wash myself with a rag on a stick. That's how I imagine them to be. Let me just get this set up. I think you two can see it, because obviously we've got a quick bingo card to do. I
can
need to make it editable my side. There it is. Right. So let's have a look. So climate change doesn't happen. Well, we already crossed it off. Honestly, after the last 2 weeks, I'm tempted to tip-X that, because I've been a sweaty boy. Reform game is 6th.
Did you see foreigners who always give us a hard time about about the temperatures we complain about, going, I am so sorry, British people. I will never apologise again.
Yeah, that was that was literally all over my TikTok. Yeah, it was quite funny. Anyway, Reform gained the 6th MP. That's not happened yet, though. We did just get a defection of an ex-Tory MP in Scotland, so you never know. He might be put up for a by-election.
Well, I mean, but that's a nobody. That's like me saying I defected.
Well, I mean, I'll take who I can get. Ex-MPs, very good. Ben Habib joins Homeland. To be honest, I think makes his own party is good enough. Well, I think I think as soon as he announces his own thing, we're probably going to cross that off, because it basically meant Ben Habib makes his own party. Well, no, he owns it. He owns it. No, because he's still changing the name, and no, he hasn't, because it's not on the Electoral Commission. There you go. Get wrecked.
But what I don't think that is like didn't he come up with a thing the other day?
GB
going,
pack.
it's
So
gonna be
he's got GB
yeah.
pack, which is.
And he's saying it's going to just be like an action committee.
GP pack's so funny. GP pack is effectively there to whinge about reform and Farage. That's basically the whole reason for it. Is that a little harsh? Yeah, don't care. But no, he's talking about no, because he bought the Integrity Party. He owns the whole of the Integrity Party, and he's been open about this. He's making plans to make it an alternative right wing party.
I thought
we need another one of them.
I've not been following it, but I thought that basically merged into his.
GB pack is a separate thing, which is they claim like, oh, we're not really supporting any particular party. We're just effectively a right wing pressure group, and we're for whatever party's best at the time, whatever. All they really do is whinge about reform, though. I mean, I went into one of their spaces, and even Sophie Corcoran, who's supposed to be reforms, a reform activist, was like whinging about it as well. It's so funny. But yeah, no, he is making his own alternative party from the sounds of it.
As far as I'm concerned, these are only good things.
No, I think splitting the right wing's a bad move at this point.
Splitting the right wing potentially.
Now is the perfect time.
Wow.
There is no election coming up. Now is the best time to sort of push these things.
Electoral instincts of an absolute mollusk. Goodness gracious. No.
Now is the best time to push these things.
Horrendous.
There's no election.
As I see it, it's I don't want it to split the right. That would be the worst case scenario. But that's
all their intention is.
It can hammer the right into something better. This is the best time for that.
Yes, it's absolutely. It's going to be Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib that do that. Good God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I see it as a useful bellwether. If it's used properly, then it will be a bellwether. If it's used in a stupid way, then yeah, it will backfire and it will split the right, and we're all screwed. And that's,
to be honest, I complain. I think it would. UKIP got 5 votes in the last by-election. Some of the people who look like they're going to be involved ended up on like 90 odd at that Runcorn by-election. I'm not even that worried. I just think it'd be stupid, and as I say, a complete waste of energy. But there we go.
I think that there is a value to having multiple sort of right, at least in the zeitgeist, because then at least it's not just one party. It's also that
we have about 5. Why do we need another? Come on.
Do we? I only know like 2 of them by name.
UKIP, Heritage, Reclaim, Homeland.
I didn't even know about. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Tories,
3 of those
Reform.
I literally don't even know.
Because you won't know any of them. This Ben Habib will announce this one. Everyone will remember it for a month, and it'll be. The only way actually that's going to be remembered is if Rupert Lowe joins it, which is actually being hinted at. Which, again, I could just see it being seen as a bit of a joke from basically everyone. You know what? Do it. It'll be funny. Why not?
I want. I want Rupert Lowe to bring Liz Truss back.
Oh God.
Yes,
Listen,
you'd like it too. You're still on the Truss train.
I've been off the Truss train for quite some time now.
You're terrible. You're terrible. All you care about is party loyalty.
She's elected.
All you care about is party loyalty.
She's electoral cancer, and she's basically bleated the same thing for 2 years now. Like she needs to do better.
She's a wonderful lady.
She needs to do better. She was the most based based PM we had, but my God, she needs to up her game. Anyway, recession. Can't technically say that yet, but probably is happening. Starmer no longer leader. Possible next week if the rebels no confidence in. You never know.
Nothing ever happens.
Really,
stuff always happens. Don't listen to him. Deport him. Deport Starmer.
Really, really, really annoying that war isn't over. I was hoping to scratch that off, but no. Iran had to be.
War has never been more on.
War has never been more on.
Hold on.
We are so back, lads.
I like how everyone's saying in chat, is this new party just going to be about euthanizing dogs?
Good.
City freaks just don't get it. They don't get the country mindset.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but I live in the country. I've not actually
you're a
heard of a
city
dog
person.
being
You're
put
an
down.
immigrant.
This keeps
you're
being
filthy
said. This
immigrant.
keeps being said. I'd like to remind you, I had a mile walk to countryside, so no.
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. I had to travel to countryside. You're not one of us.
Yeah, it was walkable, and typically where I would go on walks with my father. Yes.
I had.
I mean, I'm like
an
5
hour.
minutes from the countryside, and that's too far.
I had an hour-long walk into a village which had nothing more than a post office.
Yeah, I get it. You didn't have a phone.
That
You lived in a
actually is quite nice.
pit in the garden.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So major reshuffle again. That's not quite happening yet.
I'm feeling some animosity here. Sorry, carry on.
So the major reshuffle isn't quite happening yet, but looks like it could be likely. Reform top poll. I mean, yeah, that's just better than we ever imagined. Musk dumped, old news. GTA 6 bombs. Well, they're not making any sales this year.
Yeah, go on. I was going to go to the next one.
More riots. America, yes. UK, not quite.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, what about the Northern Ireland stuff?
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point. Yeah, you know what? Good
Probably
enough.
should have mentioned it on the international news in some respects. Oh wait, no, is not. Oh wait, no. Not
sorry,
yet.
sorry. Excuse me.
Northern Ireland
Sorry. What was that? You're for a united Ireland, right? You're banned.
The based way. United Ireland, the based way.
Well, yeah, the United Ireland, the base way would be good, but he said international news, so it wouldn't be the base way.
I just remembered that. Yeah. No, we haven't emancipated them just yet. But Starmer's getting around to it, I'm sure.
Yeah. So more tax.
We did have some of that anti-Trump stuff. Did spread the No Kings in England? They had.
Oh, that's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Which is kind of funny, yeah.
Well, it would have been Republic, but whatever. More tax rises.
This was the No King, the specific No Kings anti-Trump thing. For some reason, some losers here decided to have a go as well.
I love how people say like, oh, it's the right wing that are Americanized. It's like, yeah, to an extent, but the left wing just don't know how to do any sort of topic without Americanizing it. The left are way worse.
It's like the BLM stuff over here. It's just like it's clearly not even relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, America is also a very left-wing country.
It's true.
Like righties are sort of American righties are sort of being cocky shits at the moment because Trump's in charge. They're still a very left-wing country, though.
Yes, indeed. So we have NHS in crisis. Well, that was free. Trump assassinated. That's not happened. I don't know why that. I don't know.
The Iranians or Israel. Trying.
Still don't
Israel
know.
could do it as well. I hope Israel do it.
Still though. I still don't know why. Still don't know why John wanted that one. But there we go.
Israel killed JFK, so they've got form.
I don't think Israel did.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Anyway, Trump bombs Iran.
Yeah. This was what I thought. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have Nostradamus and
I could see Trump doing like a slap down of them, which he did.
Stelios for some reason is still at Lotus Eaters.
He likes it.
There's no logic there.
He likes it.
But it doesn't matter.
They're good guys. Every time you actually watch the Lotus Eaters, you go, that wasn't as retarded as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but I have a very low opinion of them, to be fair. It's slightly better than The Guardian, is not a compliment.
Islam Party. I would personally take that as a compliment.
Islam Party.
As long as I'm not as bad as The Guardian, I'm golden.
The only reason I really say they're not as bad as I thought is because they'll throw out the odd devil's advocate, but it almost feels like that's thrown out as almost I have to do this rather than because they
because maybe they're actually decent.
No,
they're actually a bunch of good guys.
They are. No, they're total.
Especially
morons.
The new guys, like the new ones. I think they're definitely an improvement.
I actually haven't seen them much yet, but I knew that they had.
There are some new guys.
Yes, there are some new guys who actually do seem quite sort of down to earth. I haven't watched stuff recently because I've got a lot going on, but yeah.
I did think Sargon went a bit too young with his like first round of hires. This lot are better.
You might have
Just because I don't like young people.
What?
So yeah, he's
Why did
like
did anyone watch that? Was it a Nick Dixon interview with what's he called? Josh. Why did he leave the Lotus Eaters?
he
I
was
actually didn't
just,
watch
he
it.
was kind of yeah, I did. He was kind of like me. Like he was just getting blackpilled by like politics every day, and he just wanted to focus on something different.
That I can respect.
It wasn't
much.
that he dislikes the Lotus Eaters. He still likes them,
didn't.
and he's like plans to go back and on some episodes. But yeah, he just was getting blackpilled by everything.
I didn't think he hated them. I was just interested as to because I thought it would have been more. Oh, Swin's just an absolute asshole.
No, yeah, it was just yeah, he was just getting blackpilled by their like just like me, just kind of like tired of eating shit every day, and like having to cover it as his job. It was like.
You're even worse, Tharium. You come on 2 streams a week and you don't even get paid. What are you doing?
Well, yeah, exactly. Maybe my tolerance of suffering might be higher than Josh's. Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Islam party surges. Well, we don't even have an Islam party yet, which I'm actually quite surprised at. But this whole Iran thing who knows, might change it. Jordan Peterson obviously cried. There was another pandemic. No, there wasn't another pandemic. What am I talking about? We don't have another pandemic. I don't know why we put that on. I would never have thought that. But go on.
They did.
I think they would have tried the lockdowns again. Yeah.
They were pushing bird flu. I think.
I don't.
They were pushing bird flu for a while, but it wasn't a human one.
It didn't work out.
I mean, they still managed to screw up eggs.
They were trying to spread fear that it could spread to humans. I think like a dog caught it or something.
Yeah.
And they were trying to push this like. Scare.
I do remember. Yeah, that was a thing.
Luckily, it didn't happen.
Anyway, I'm trying to finish this. Sturgeon isn't getting sentenced unless she does something else illegal. Reform decimated the Controller Council. Reform win against Tommy Robinson pretty much. Common blackouts where we've had that. Tommy Robinson gets arrested. He got charged again, didn't he?
I saw him with a beard in Solitary. That was the last time I saw him.
I think he was out.
Why,
I think something happened with that.
We Tipex it for a reason, but I can't remember what it was. And then illegal migration. Well, we saw the graph, so there we go. I've just realised I did not save this, which means that nobody on the stream actually saw the updates I was doing. So there you go. They're your 2 X's. More riots and Trump bombs Iran. Though I don't think we've seen the end of the rioting, to be honest with you. But there we go.
Oh no. Summer. It's going to be a fiery summer, I think.
So it depends what happens. It was a proper flash in the pan last time. It took a proper major crime or major tragedy to set that off.
I mean, if Trump can't bring about peace, then there's going to be that's probably going to kick some stuff.
Well, it is odd how much they've got away with it, but it's almost like Jews can't go into London on Saturdays. It's just the new norm. That's kind of what's been accepted here. So I don't know if it'll actually get any worse, because the whole reason for that is, to avoid tragedies. So we'll see. Anyway,
I mean, Tommy Robinson will probably. It wouldn't surprise me if he did some sort of pro-Israel march because he loves Israel.
It's a massive.
And that could cause problems.
If Tommy Robinson unironically starts another riot, I don't want to hear any defence of him from people I usually hear defence of him of. Like, oh God.
Did he start the last one?
No, he didn't. No. I'm saying if he starts.
Okay.
If he starts another Summer of Love.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't
think he'll be the catalyst. No.
I wouldn't say riots, but not riots, but I don't know. It could be like you were saying, like the Jews don't go in, but maybe that could cause some sort of fight if he wants to do like some sort of Israel rally in London. That could get messy.
Yes. well, anyway, I think with that, I thought this was going to take an hour and a half, but we get you two
Well,
on,
we always go.
and then
We always go.
we do actually usually go an hour over. We usually go for ages if we Tosh talks.
Unless it's a really quiet week.
To be fair, we did miss out last week because I could not do this. But so yeah, it was. I say it was 3 weeks worth of news. It wasn't really because I only looked at news in the past 5 days, so can't really use that excuse. But anyway, I would like to thank Cero and Tharium for coming on.
I'm tired of eating shit.
I enjoy both of your companies.
I would like to. I would like to thank the chat for being based as usual and largely on the right side of history.
My side.
Yes, quite. I would also like to thank the members, though I don't think Cero's on the panel, so that's one of our members. But I didn't see Portrait Seal or Penwell, but hopefully they'll be in the catch up. Obviously, appreciate all you. If you want to be really cool, obviously you can become a member as well. We still haven't unlocked super chats. That comes at 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully I am seeing a steady filter through though of people from my channel coming here. So you never know. Maybe we'll reach 1,000 sooner than we think. But anyway, Shill time. Some article on my channel on Thursday. Laughing at the Guardian with some women Saturday, sorry. Saturday, Tharium. So it's usual. So I really didn't need to emphasise that.
We're all shit eaters, Vicar. We all
are. I'm not.
I'll have you know that my wife's cooking is lovely.
I eat doo-doo.